What is happening, everybody? It's Troy here. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for stopping by today. We are going to be doing a pretty cool unboxing. I think it's going to be a cool unboxing at least. It's not going to be an orchid, however. Guys, I have noticed a couple of spider mite webs in my collection. Just on a few select plants, I would say 12 or less, and I have over 200 plants for those of you who are new to my channel or have never seen my channel before. I have an orchid collection inside of over 200 plants. So if 12 plants or less have spider mites, it's not a total infestation yet. Spider mites, they move very quickly and it takes them no time at all to get their webbing all across your plants. They start taking down your leaves. They can wreak havoc on your collection. So I wanted to be proactive and I wanted to go ahead and place an order with Nature's Good Guys. I'm usually really good about keeping up with my beneficial mites so that I don't run into problems with my spider mites. However, I said in a previous video, the month of March and April were hectic months for me, and I strayed away from things, including keeping up with my beneficial mites. So now that it is spring going into summer, the mites are really going to start kicking off here in the Ohio River Valley. I am in Lexington, Kentucky. One of the biggest pests, and I know other growers that have the same problem, is spider mites. And especially if we're ordering plants online and they're being shipped to us, they get stressed and sometimes they pick up these spider mites along the way and they bring them into the collection, amongst other things. I have noticed I got a Phalaenopsis right around Christmas time, and I noticed right about that same time a few, not many, but a few of the mealybugs came with it. And so my Phalaenopsis collection, every now and then I see some mealybugs. So in addition to my beneficial mites, I'm also going to be trying green lacewing larvae for the first time. And I have also ordered ladybugs, which I'm not going to release today, but I am going to talk about because I think that they're very beneficial. But before we dive into all that, I wanted to real quick tell you guys why I have chosen this alternative method to eliminate my pests. And it's very simple. I am environmentally conscious. And I don't really like messing with chemicals for my own health reasons. I also have a senior dog in the house, and I am a tarantula keeper. So I have about 30 different species of really cool tarantulas that I would like to keep around. And I just don't really like messing with pesticides at the end of the day. Not to mention, with a collection as large as mine is, I'm spending $80 to $120 every week just to spray all my plants down. And that's for 1 week. I'm going to have to continuously spray them over and over again to eliminate this problem. So I am going to be using these beneficial mites. I'm also going to be trying out these green lacewing larvae for the first time. And then I have used ladybugs as well. So I'm going to just be reintroducing some back into my collection. I have a couple of left. They have food and nectar that you can purchase, and it will help with the longevity and help them stabilize a better population within your collection. However, I can't use these nectars and supplemental foods right now because I have ants that have come into my collection. After I get rid of them, I have no problem at all using these supplemental foods so that they'll stay into my collection longer. But that is probably why I'm having to order so many to keep my population established within my home environment. And that's another thing, is my conditions aren't always perfect. In the wintertime, my humidity drops and there's nothing I can really do about that. So there's those factors on top of it. But today we are going to dive into an unboxing, and I am going to walk you through on how I put these beneficial mites and now these green lacewing larvae out into my collection. I am not going to sprinkle them all over my plants. The people at Nature's Good Guys, they were thoughtful enough to make these creative little hanging boxes, which I'm sure you have seen over on top of my Phalaenopsis shelf. I'm going to be using them, and I'm just going to be placing them all around my collection full of these beneficial mites and this green lacewing larvae. So that is what's going to be happening in today's video. All right, guys. So the first thing that we are going to do is I cut into the box and I took out these green lacewing larvae because they are warm stored. And I'm going to keep my ladybugs and I'm going to keep these beneficial mites in the refrigerator until I need them, which is now. So I'm opening up the box for you guys. And this is the first thing you're going to see is they're going to give you product description and environmental information on whatever beneficial insect that you've chosen. You can also find this information on their website, and it's a handy little guide as to what you need to pick for your environment. I have ordered 1,000 of the green lacewing larvae, and then I got about 10 or 15 of the hanging boxes. Um, I don't like sprinkling the vermiculite that comes with the beneficial mites. I don't want that all over my orchid. So that's why I use the hanging boxes. And then the ladybugs, I can just keep in that same box in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks. So until I need to use them, they will just stay in my refrigerator, guys. All you have to do for the hanging boxes is when you open them, you just unfold them. You're going to pop in the bottom, like push the middle to the bottom, and then there is a perforated line in which you just pop the circle out and then you tear along that line, and that allows you to hang the box onto your plant. You can also just set it on the top of the pot as long as your media is not wet and just lean it up against the pot. So I wouldn't do that for leca and self-watering, but you can set it on the pot for lava rock. They're really cool, nifty way of keeping your plants clean, but still getting your beneficial insect out onto the plant. And they'll just crawl out of the box onto the plant's leaf. And then where our plants are like so close together in cultivation, they're just going to make their way from one plant to the next. There's spacing instructions on Nature's Good Guys website, but for this order, I ordered a lot of beneficial insects because I'm trying to stop a problem before it becomes a bigger problem. And that's why I'm trying these green lacewing larvae today. There's 1,000 in there, and I'm just going to be placing them near my plants that came with the mealybugs. And then I have a couple of Brazilian imports that they came with scale, and I read that this can also help to eliminate a scale problem. The scale comes up like once every 6 months or so, so it's not a huge problem, but I would just like to be proactive going into the warmth of the summer. And then the ladybugs are really easy. I just cut like along one end and like make a slit, and then you can just allow however many you want to come onto each shelf. And about every 5 to 10 minutes, you can just move it to the next shelf until you have your desired amount across your collection. That's 1,500 ladybugs. Keep in mind, guys, I have 3 different grow spaces, so my my plants are pretty spread out across the house. So ladybugs are effective. They, however, are drawn to light, so they will go towards grow lights and windows, and you kind of just have to corral them every morning and get them back onto your plants. Your beneficial mites are going to come packaged with ice packs and styrofoam to help insulate it and keep them cool. When you get your box, if it is not time for you to put out your mites, you can just store them for up to 24 hours in that packaging in your refrigerator. So when I get them, I just threw them into the refrigerator, and of course I pulled those green lacewing larvae out because they are warm stored. So if you have them in your box, go ahead and pull them out. But the ladybugs and the beneficial mites are fine to store. The ladybugs you can actually store for up to 2 weeks in your refrigerator. So what I do is I release some and then I will put them back in the refrigerator, and then I don't know, 3 days later I'll release a few more, and I do that over the course of about a week. I don't start releasing them until after I've allowed my beneficial mites to get out onto my plants for about 72 hours. That's when I take my hanging boxes down. I just discard of the vermiculite that they come in, that'll be in your hanging boxes. I just discard of that, and then I store my hanging boxes because they come in handy. You're going to use them, guys. So I definitely recommend, hanging on to them. You'll do an initial introduction. So I always like to do more. This time I'm going to be doing 100,000 mites. So there's 50,000 in each bottle, and I'm going to put some upstairs and I'm going to put some downstairs. And then I'm just going to follow up every 2 weeks, so bi-weekly, with probably about 25,000 mites. So I think the pricing is great on this. It's much more realistic. It's much more affordable for me anyway, doing it this way as opposed to buying pesticides. The only thing that's expensive, I think, is the shipping. I'm using a species called Ambulosis chimeris, and the reason why is because they have such a wide variety of humidity and temperatures, and I have 3 different grow spaces within my house. So I have a very warm to hot grow space, and then I have cooler grow space. And these guys seem to thrive in either space that I use them in. I found it to be really versatile, and it is their most affordable beneficial mite. So that is a sale point for me. I have a large collection, so I have to do what's right for my wallet as well as what's right for my collection. And you guys will find as it goes on, as you do your research, maybe something will work differently for you. They have a bunch of different varieties that work with different mites. All right, guys, so now we're going to go ahead and get everything set up so we can release our mites. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and saturate all of your plants with a mister like the one right there behind me. Go ahead and get the leaves and the surface area nice and wet so that way these mites have some humidity and moisture to move around and stay hydrated. And then in order to open the bottle, we just want to rock it back and forth nice and gently. They've already been shaken up enough by the FedEx man. And then you're just going to either use the top. There's a sprinkler system, so you just push in the tab and then switch it over to sprinkle, and you can just sprinkle it all over your plants. I don't really like that method. I like to keep things neat and tidy. So what I do, guys, is I just pop off the lid, and then you can just pour them into the hanging boxes. I had some leftover hanging baskets. I always keep them stored above my Phalaenopsis, and then I ordered some more, so I don't know, that's maybe 50 boxes, and I just go ahead and line them all up, and then that way I can just pour into my hanging boxes. I already went ahead and put the other bottle in, so in that way I can go ahead and start getting my mites out, because they have been out of the refrigerator for a while now, and they are waking up and they are hungry and they are crawling out of the boxes to get all over the plants because they're ready to eat. I also went ahead and placed my green lacewing larvae into hanging boxes. I contacted Nature's Good Guys, and they said it was okay for me to do, that they would just do the same thing that the beneficial mites do. They will crawl out of the hanging boxes and they'll go all over your plants, was exactly what we want them to do. But yeah, it's really easy. I think the application, as long as you have yourself set up, you've already misted your plants before you start putting the mites into the hanging boxes, And then I also like to, before I miss my plants, go ahead and have my boxes already set up. So you don't have to do it this way. I have these trays left over, and it's just a organized and quick and easy way for me to get my mites out onto these plants. So hang tight, guys. We are going to go up to the upstairs grow space, the orchid room, and I am going to show you guys how I put these on all of my plants. So hang tight. All right, guys, so I'm going to start with the Phalaenopsis. They usually tend to get mites really fast. That's just a Phalaenopsis for you. And so I will put more than one of the hanging boxes on the Phalaenopsis shelf. They'll make their way around. My plants are really close in proximity. Some of the hanging boxes, I'm just going to rest on the top of the plant, and they're touching the actual plant. And then a lot of my plant's leaves are touching. Dendrobiums and Phalaenopsis are known to pick up spider mites easily. So if they're in the house, I definitely want to take preventative measures. And here, let me go ahead and hang a box so you guys can see. Yeah, right here on the Coryanthes, you just hang it right there on the stem of the plant, and they'll make their way right across all the leaves. I'm sure they'll make their way down to the Sanhopia, and then I'm just going to go ahead and set this box up in my Vanda pot basket. I guess it's a basket, not a pot. And you just want to put at least one box per shelf. These oncidiums are close together. They're kind of touching, so I think one box down here will be fine. My Cattleyas don't really get spider mites, so I typically just put one box per shelf for them. But you want to make sure you're doing what's adequate for your grow space. Your collection may be larger than mine, it might be smaller than mine. Maybe you need 2 or 3 boxes on each shelf. Maybe you just need one. So you will have to accommodate to your grow space, but this method seems to be working for me. Like I said, guys, it's a really easy application. You can just set them on the side of the pot. This one I'm going to hang off the maxima. And that's all there really is to it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you guys give integrated pest management a try. I did want to say real quick, do check out Nature's Good Guys website. They have awesome product descriptions like I mentioned before. And also I wanted to say I am in no way affiliated with Nature's Good Guys. I just really appreciate them and enjoy their products. Their customer service has been great. I've had to reach out a couple of times. They always promptly respond to me within 48 hours. So I definitely appreciate that. And they also reached out to me because over the wintertime they had a snowstorm and they wanted to keep me updated as to why my shipment was going to be a little bit delayed. And it was no problem at all. So I've had a great experience with them, and I hope that maybe you guys will try. If you're having some pest problems or you think you might have some here in the future, it might be a good idea to just have a plan in place. So I thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and y'all take care and have yourselves a great night.